Good afternoon. The meeting is now called to order. Call to order for the Board of Review and Equalization. The items from the public. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Next up, Larry Hess. Good afternoon, sir. Hi, Larry. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good.
Before we get started, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Evelyn Fink, former assessor, passed away yesterday.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Is that Chris and John's
Uh,
relation?
No.
No?
Well, relation, yes.
Yeah.
She lived on Rockcliffe Drive.
That's right.
Yes.
Charlie's,
And-
is that Charlie's wife?
That was, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no,
Yeah.
yes, no. Charlie Fink was
Chris and
Chris and
John.
John's dad.
Okay.
That was not. This was Lawrence. Her husband was Lawrence Fink.
Okay.
Lawrence.
Thank
but
And they
she
those kids.
after Merle Spickler, that goes back quite a many years.
Her daughter's the attorney.
And,
Cindy Scales is her daughter. Her daughter.
She's
yeah,
passed away.
Cinda, I think.
Cindy.
I
Cindy,
always
yeah.
call her Cindy.
Yeah.
It's Cinda.
Yeah.
But she called me about 10:30 this morning, and I asked her, I said, if it's okay, I'm gonna mention it to the commissioners. She said, that's absolutely fine, but
She worked for Merle for a long time before she took over, and then
she was chief
Yes.
deputy under Merle Spickler for
long time.
years. And when he retired, she took over, and then she.
And
got
she ran and got
reelected
elected. Yeah.
until Patsy came in, actually. Anyway, we've been taking care of all the calls as they come in, so we've got pretty much nothing to bring to you as far as anybody that wants to appeal today. We've got another one for the Office of Tax Appeals. We got a total of 4 down there now. 2 of them we've sent for a tax ruling from the state tax department at their request. And the other 2 we're working on to see if we can, work them out, come up with something before we have a conference call. Next Wednesday and the following Wednesday, we have 2 conference calls for the last 2 that we just got. But I don't think any of those 4 is going to be completed before you guys sign it out. But that's the way it works with the Office of Tax Appeals. They run on into, we've got 2 that went to the for the tax ruling set up for March for a conference call. So they just go on for a month or 2, but we have to deal with them as when we finish them up. We may have to do an exoneration or something on a bill, but they probably won't be finished by the time you guys finish here. But I do have, Cody has, I think he has 4 that he made adjustments on that he's going to present to you today.
Okay.
We need to get approval on that, but other than that, we're good to go.
Very good. Thank you.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Hey, Cody.
Good morning.
I just got
Afternoon.
4 changes, and I got copies I can give you guys, so that way you guys can follow along.
Sir. Thank you, Cody.
Thank you.
All right, so the first one, just when we were proofing farms, we noticed it didn't get keyed, so we just went ahead and fixed that. So the original in the books was 90,900 for the current assessment. It went down to 10,200, and that was for parcel District Arden, map 15, parcel 58 for Betty Wilson. And then the next one, we got Jaredstown, map 30R, parcel 41 for Laurel Murray. That one was just an adjustment on the land because it's residual to his house, and we weren't appraising it correctly. So that went from 21,720 to 16,320. And the third one was in Martinsburg, map 11, parcel 84, for Ishmael Sanchez. We had it classified incorrectly. It is owner occupied. So the assessment stayed the same, just changed the class from 4 to 2. And then the fourth one, Mill Creek, map 14G, parcel 11 for Donna Parsons. Same thing, owner occupied, we had it classified wrong. So we just changed that from 3 to 2. That's it.
Do we need to identify these individual, or can we approve them?
I would say you could prove them all, as far as I know.
What do you think, Larry?
You can approve them all, we just have to put them in the books.
Just make a motion to approve the change in assessments roll, or assessor's roll logs on the tax year 26 as presented.
Second.
That'll work. Been properly moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's it.
For the record, Mr. President, Kirsten can put them in the minutes relative to the parcel, so they'll be accurate.
I just thought before that we did them individually.
You may have.
I think so.
I think once they were accumulated at the end, we did it that way, but
Very good. All right. Next up, Morgan Cabin, Sherry Smith. Good to see you.
Excuse my voice. Frog in my throat I can't get rid of. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Historic Morgan Cabin Association. As you know, our mission is to preserve the Morgan Cabin for future generations and to teach the story of Colonel Morgan Morgan, the first white settler in West Virginia. Since 1976, for 50 years, our volunteers have consistently worked to maintain the Morgan Cabin. Through countless volunteer hours, we have made many additions and improvements to the cabin and grounds. Today, we are asking for financial assistance to help pay for some upcoming expenses. This year, we would like to add a private conservation trust sign about pioneer life at the cabin. Also, we hope to gravel the access road to the Cool Spring Church Cemetery that is located east of the cabin. This road was originally constructed about 30 years ago for no cost by a collaborative effort between my husband, John, who did the excavation and grading, Freddie Gant, who donated the shale, Martinsburg Quarry, who donated the gravel, and the Air Guard, who hauled and spread the gravel on the road. Improving this road with new gravel will make for better access. Dave Michaels of the Landmarks Commission has been making great progress in getting the graves in this cemetery from the 1700s verified and protected. And it was quite a cooperative effort between community people helping us put the initial road in, because everybody just worked together and stepped up, and we got it done. And that was, like I say, about 30 years ago, so it needs more gravel. Improvements to the cabin in recent years have included the addition of western cedar guttering, the addition of a solar audio kiosk with a narrative of the cabin history, the addition of a private conservation trust sign of the cabin's history, as well as one sharing the local history of the American Indian during this period, which we just put up. We also completed an exterior electrical upgrade, and in 2025, we had an exterior sealer applied to the cabin walls and roof, which will protect it for many years. Annually, we have the cabin checked for termites and other insects, and if needed, we apply treatment. We're constantly looking for ways to improve and maintain the cabin. For the third year, we are planning to celebrate our veterans with a special activity Memorial Day weekend. This is not a fundraiser, but it will honor our veterans by having them share their memories with the community. We will provide free light refreshments for everyone attending. In December, we had our third Sensory Santa for special needs children. Gifts and cookies were given to the children by Santa Claus. Pictures were taken of the families with Santa and provided to them at no cost. And the gifts and cookies were again provided by the Brad Wright law firm. Brad has been extremely supportive of that, and the day was a great success. At the cabin, we have many school group tours planned throughout the year. We share tours with groups in public schools, scouts, 4-H, homeschooled, and community groups. These groups get a historical walking tour by volunteers wearing period costumes of the Morgan cabin, as well as the neighboring Cool Spring Farm built by Morgan's son, Zachel, who founded Morgantown. We also open the cabin for requests from the public. In order to promote our tours and history of the cabin, we have a Facebook social page and a website, which Janelle Sperry takes care of us for us. As a fundraiser, we have a fall festival planned again this year. As always, when our cabin volunteers can do the work to save labor costs, this is what we do. We don't pay for anything that we don't have to. We have a great group of volunteers always willing to jump in and help. We thank you for your continuing support. This has been invaluable in maintaining and improving this site. We appreciate your consideration of our request. Are there any questions?
I'll be in touch with you about the stuff.
Sorry?
I'll be in touch with you about hauling some stone for you.
Okay.
Okay?
I
When the
checked.
weather gets better, we'll get some on it.
Do you have a dump truck?
Mhm.
Okay, great. I checked with Inwood Quarry for a price to get an estimate, on what we thought it would cost. But if we got somebody that'll haul them, that would be wonderful. There again, somebody stepping up to help. It's really
Be
been
glad
great with people doing that.
Or else I'll get Richie across the street to go do it.
Okay. Whoever has the truck,
Yeah.
we'd be most appreciative. Thank you
We'll
very
get it.
much.
Yeah, Sherry, I just once again like to thank you and your organization for all the work that you've done there over a very long period of time. Had it not been for you all, that would be a site you ride by and you say that's where it used to be.
Right.
And your all's dedication to this has been phenomenal, quite honestly. And
Thank you.
a lot of good afternoons spent up there celebrating and at your open neighboring events where people come in and just enjoy the grounds and be educated on
Well, we're very happy with your support because you do always come and spend time there, and we'd love for the rest of you to come as well.
yeah. Well, last year they had me in the hole calling contest.
You were good at that whole call.
I've been practicing. I told
He
you.
wouldn't demonstrate to us, would he? How
He wouldn't.
No.
I practice. So, but thank you for, unless anybody else has anything they'd like to add. All right, man. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you very much.
very much.
Thank you,
I'll
John.
be looking for a call from you.
That's it.
The only thing I need
You want me
to
to
see
say
is
something?
where it goes.
You wanna
to
say
and from.
something? You're welcome.
I'll make it happen.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you. I'll check with you if you do.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're just gonna take a little break till the next folks come in. We're back in session, and next up is the Martinsburg Initiative, Margaret Kersey, for the budget presentation. Have you been? Good.
We can pass them down, but you won't do it. Got it. Take one and pass it down to me. One of each.
Thank you for giving me a little bit of time to talk with you. And, I thought this is, I've been here a couple of times, but I want to take this time just to share with you the work of the Martinsburg Initiative. And sometimes I think that maybe we need to rename ourselves, because we truly are more than just Martinsburg. We serve all of Berkeley County. And we are police, school, community, health, and education partnership. And our mission is to prevent substance use, to build strong families, and to empower the community. Our major partners are the Martinsburg Police Department, Berkeley County Schools, WVU Medicine, Berkeley Medical Center, Shepherd University, and the Washington Local HIDA. And you can see in those partners, it really is all of Berkeley County and not just Martinsburg. We've had an incredibly successful year. We have 16 social workers that are school-based in the schools in Berkeley County, and that ranges from Mountain Ridge Intermediate to Mountain Ridge Middle School, all the schools in the city of Martinsburg, Mill Creek, Bunker Hill. We're providing support to Spring Hills Primary, Eagle School. We would love to provide support to all of the schools in Berkeley County. Simply we don't have funds to do that. However, our school-based social workers accept referrals from counselors and from parents, community organizations, and we provide interventions. All of our social workers are licensed, and we teach Too Good for Drugs, which is prevention curriculum in all those schools that I just mentioned, along with positive action. We have 4 police social workers. 3 are embedded in the Martinsburg Police Department, and this year we partnered with Charlestown Police Department to place a social worker there. Those police social workers are nonstop busy. We have accepted over 243 referrals from law enforcement this year, and that ranges for all different reasons. We cannot speak about how valuable that resource is to individuals and families. And in addition to that, we have hosted and led a crisis intervention team, and I know Berkeley County Sheriff's Department has been a leader in that too. And with that, we have offered crisis intervention team training for law enforcement, 911 dispatch, first responders, and we have done that extensively this year. We have a fully stocked community cover in Reamer on the 2nd floor, and beside Reamer there's a yellow house that's owned by the school system, but they're providing it to us for use. And the first floor of that is a fully stocked community cover that is no barriers. There are no barriers. Someone says, oh, I need diapers, we get the diapers to them. Oh, I need coats, we get the coats to them. We also hand out blankets, tents, we give out a lot of shoes, shampoo, toothpaste. We have some donors who donate to us, but then we have some grants that fund that. But that is no barrier, providing basic need supplies to people who need them in all of Berkeley County. And we get multiple referrals every day for that. I spoke about our cold weather shelter, and for those that were in the room when I spoke about that, this was something that had been discussed in our county for a number of years. And this year, Caroline Wilson, WVU Medicine Core Outreach Team, Pastor Sherry, who's at St. John's Lutheran, and I recognize that the Martinsburg Initiative could serve as a fiscal agent and administrator of that. And we opened that shelter January 1st. We have a staff that operates from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. We have had, last night, we had 21 people in that shelter. And those, that has been funded through support from city council. That was a portion of that. And then we've written some other grants to supplement it. We do the laundry every week for that. And it's been an incredible collaborative effort, but it's helped save lives, help people stay alive during these really cold winters that we've had. One thing I also want to highlight is our drug-free WB coalitions. These are coalitions of community members and community partners working together to prevent substance use and to work with awareness of what substances will do to your body, how harmful they can be, how they can impact your lives, and to help prevent those. We currently have one adult coalition, and we have 4 high school coalitions in Berkeley County, one at each of the high schools, and we have one at Shepherd University and one at a high school in Jefferson County. So this coming year, we want to do everything that we have done. And in addition, we're going to plan on a summer camp for youth and especially continue our coalition work. So looking at funding, we do have 30 staff members, so every staff member has a grant behind it. So that kind of adds up to a lot of grants. However, there are just some basic needs that we have to operate that aren't funded a lot of times by grants. We want to expand our cold weather shelter next winter to do, we started in January, we ran for 9 weeks this week. We'd like to expand and start in December next year. We also support the State Coalition and the We Care Coalition, which used to be called Bridges. We do some fiscal work for them, and we're looking for some support to help continue that We Care Coalition and provide support with promotion materials and web content. We're always looking for and need support for mentoring and after-school programs, and so that's the budget request that we have for you this year. So does anyone have any questions? I also did include hot off the presses Berkeley County snapshot of where we stand, and amazingly, our overdose fatalities have declined remarkably in the last year. I believe the number that is, and this was 2024, there were 33 overdose fatalities. That is 33 lives. It's 33 people. It's 33 families, individuals. We're never going to be satisfied until that number is 0. But our work is to prevent those overdoses and prevent substance use, especially with youth. So I wanted to share that snapshot with you. You can see that cocaine still is the most problematic drug, and you can see the other overdoses in our community. But we are a drug-free communities grant program recipient, and most of that work is youth-centered, having activities and awareness for youth so that they do not use the substances.
I say you've grown your programs. I mean, from a number of years ago when you started, and you say you now have up to 30 employees. Great.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to reach out to more schools.
Is to reach more schools to provide more support.
Are those grants federal grants or state grants?
We have a combination, and I'm the one and only grant writer in our organization, so I write all the grants. We have several federal grants. We have several foundation grants. We have captured the attention of a local foundation who has been very supportive. But we also have Eastern West Virginia Foundation grants. We'll participate in the United Way Unity campaign. We have other small grants. So we have a pretty varied diverse portfolio, so to speak.
Okay.
But it takes all of that to, fund my staff.
They feel threatened in any way this year, but losing any of those grants, or, I'm not
Well,
assuming they're annual
yeah.
grants that you get year to year, but.
For 24 hours, about 2 weeks ago, we had 3 grants that they terminated. So for 24 hours,
And they got,
we had to take some big breaths. And I right away emailed Senator Capito to say, hey, you know, we're depending on these grants. Can you help? I talked with her staffers, but that did circle out back. I attended last week the CADCA conference, which is a substance use prevention conference. And there's someone who is called the drug czar. And she's a new appointee, and she was incredibly supportive. And CACA is the National Substance Use Prevention Conference, and they spoke repeatedly about how Congress had fully funded substance use prevention programming for this year. So I feel very confident that
be there.
prevention has been supported at the federal level. Now, prevention is not supported at the state level. We don't get any funding from state grants, but we do have some federal grants. Yes.
How do you track, who tracks these fatalities and all? How does that get tracked?
That is, and if you look on the back of that at the bottom, it shows all the websites they pull that from.
Okay,
But I know that the hospital reports in the dashboard, EMS reports in the dashboard, and I believe that's how they,
and that's just Berkeley County, correct?
that is just Berkeley
Yeah.
County. Yes.
So it was cut in half, less than half in
Yes.
2024.
And that's all the community organizations working together. And that's one thing that's amazing about Berkeley County is the collaboration and the working together.
Do you think that's due to less use, or do you think that's for better access to the drugs to counteract?
To naloxone, I think it's a combination. I think it's the availability of naloxone. It's the messaging, getting it out. It's getting more people help with their substance use disorder. So I think it's a combination. And I think it's the prevention efforts, the treatment efforts, and the recovery support all working together.
I think we're doing a better job of starting with young children in the school system
Yes.
to let them understand what they're getting into if they choose to go that direction, and that's helped a
Yes.
lot, I would think. So
Yes. It's
they're starting them real young now. I mean, in elementary school, instead of waiting till they get to middle school or high school. And
Yes.
those kids are pretty sharp at that age. You'd be surprised.
Well, and what they're exposed to. A lot of
And
the
what they
children
see
are
day to
exposed.
day, they live in it sometimes.
Give them a path forward.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for Margaret?
Well, I just thank you for the opportunity to talk with you.
Yeah.
To share with you the work that we're doing. And if there's any way that you can think of that you would like us to support or any need that you have, we're here to help.
Well, I know we haven't been able to fund you recently, but that doesn't mean that we certainly appreciate what you guys are doing, believe me. So
I appreciate
what you
that
do for
very
this
so
community. So, I mean, you know, it's not because a lot of times that we don't fund things because we don't want to. It's because we just can't do it sometimes. But we do appreciate what you're doing for this community. And
Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. That means a lot to me. And I just appreciate your support.
Very good. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
No pressure.
Next up, Casa of the Eastern Panhandle.
Yeah.
Yeah, move forward.
We're working on it ready.
Good deal. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
Good.
Actually, so thank you for having us. Casa of the Eastern Panhandle is excited to be here to talk to you. Again, we know that we value your partnership. So we're excited to again talk about all that we've been doing in the last year. Most recently, actually today, we just swore in about 6 volunteers for our core program. As CASA, court-appointed special advocates, it's really important for us to lean on our volunteers to be able to connect with the children that are in abuse and neglect cases. So again, we're excited that we have some more people to come in and help, but on kind of the downside, already this year, we already have 12 kids in Berkeley County that are a part of child abuse and neglect cases. So again, we're constantly behind trying to reach out and be able to connect all of our kids with an advocate to be able to speak on their behalf. So my name is Sarah Pletty. I'm the director of programs, so I oversee our grant management. I started about 5 years ago in this, working with CASA, but a year prior to that, I was a volunteer. And so my journey is very similar to our other volunteers' journeys, where we get to connect with kids, but then you're helping and you're speaking on their behalf, but then you also notice that there are some gaps that still need to be closed. Luckily, as a staff member, I've been able to work and see our growth in our Fostering Futures program. And that program is really important in our community because we're able to close the gap in some of our skills in our kids that are aging out of the system. We view and we know that neglect and abuse is a very hard and very sad, portion of the kids that are in our community. But it doesn't just happen one day and then it goes away. Our children have to deal with a lot of skill building that they missed out on through neglect of, potentially years. And so, again, we've been able to build our Fostering Futures program to offer these kids to close that gap. It's been very exciting. 5 years ago, we may have had, I think, 5 key Fostering Futures participants. And now we're up to over 50 kids that come, not yearly, where we were 5 years ago, but now we have weekly programming where over 50 kids throughout the month will come weekly for tutoring. They'll come and they get to learn some social and emotional learning skills. They also get to come and learn cooking, and workforce development opportunities. One of our most recent partnerships has been with Blue Ridge Community and Technical College. So weekly, we have a class that we curated with Blue Ridge to be able to expose the high school students to look at different options of potential career paths. And so that has just started with this new semester, so that has been really exciting. Another partnership that we've made is with Varsity Travel, and they've really been helping to solve the problem of transportation. So there's a lot of issues that we're navigating, but with partners in the community, we're really still trying to build this program to be able to expand it to more children. Especially most recently this year, we're looking at a path for 10 to 13-year-olds. So going into intermediate schools to be able to help them. So a lot of building, a lot of growing, and a lot of connections still need to be made. Another skill that we most recently did was CPR and first aid skills, exposure to the arts and tech community at the Apollo Theater. So again, weekly we do tutoring sessions as well. So we're invested in not only their social and emotional well-being, but their education as well. We have an educational advocate on staff to be able to help children in foster care navigate being able to get higher education or workforce skills if they want to go into a technical trade. So I'm trying to think of my other key points. I also brought Carrie Lefebvre here. She is our youth programs manager, and she has dedicated a lot of time to our Fostering Futures program. So we're available for any questions, and we're really happy to be here and speak to you today.
Second time.
Yes, second. It's good to see you again.
I was just wondering, do your all's paths cross with the Martinsburg's initiative that with Margaret that just left here, do you guys cross paths with children anywhere along the way?
So how-
And we do have some mutual clientele, and they are able to provide therapeutic services that we aren't able to provide, but through the communities and schools, we have connections with mutual clients.
So like a reciprocal referral source.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I would think that unfortunately as it is, as you, especially with the children that are in these programs, there's things that you can help them with, and there's other things that you can hand them off to somebody else perhaps for another need that
Yep,
they have.
absolutely. So anything mental health related, we absolutely connect them, and we work closely with the caregivers to be able to help them, fill out the right forms and reach out to the right people. You want to give an example?
Additionally, we've also expanded our volunteer opportunities and have a track for community members to be mentors for these young people. And so it's not an in-court advocacy position. It's building a one-on-one relationship and mentoring them towards goals, whether it's achieving their high school diploma or maybe working towards getting a permit. And so hopefully within those connections as well, that relationship building, we're able to connect the young people with the resources and the people that can help them thrive. As I explained earlier today, this is about building a stronger community, because in just a few short years, the kids we're currently working with will be members of this community and they will be our peers. And in order for them to be thriving, we have to put the effort in now. It's far easier to build a strong child than it is to repair a broken man.
Prevention is our strategic goal this next 5 years.
What a wonderful quote. Who's that from?
Mhm.
So you have a budget presentation here, and your thing is, you're gonna collect $1,432,000, but you're gonna spend $1,586,000. How do you plan to offset that?
Our executive director has a very strong backing in fundraising. We're also investigating options with working with DHS to become a provider for some of our services to be able to line item pay for those services.
The money you have under government for revenue, 367,000, is that federal? Is that state?
Yes, that's
Mostly
through
federal?
VOCA funding.
All federal then at this point? Yeah. You're not getting any state funds at this point?
We have some pass-through funding through our West Virginia CASA. That would be state related.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any further questions or comments for Sarah unless somebody else does.
No, just thank you all very much for all that
thank
you
you.
do. I mean, I know how important CASA is to our community, and having someone to represent the children, and also I was very excited about your mentoring program. Okay. All right. But thank you all very much for being here today, and appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Mark, you ready? Next up is Mark Jordan with Convention and Visitors Bureau. Good afternoon, Mark.
How are you?
Good.
Goodies for you. It's hot off the press, so.
We like the ones that are edible best, but.
Well, because this is the new business guide, the state, and this is something we just put together actually last week. A review of our marketing.
Thank you.
For the past year. Find out the numbers.
Thank you.
We do not look at the visitors guide.
Thank you,
It
Mark.
does not come to us. It comes directly from the state, so we don't.
Okay.
We just got these in last week.
That's Cooper's Rock right there. Cooper's Rock.
Yeah, on Stump Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Front cover, Coopers.
As always, it's a pleasure to be here. And as always, we are not asking for any funding. We are strictly funded through the Hotel Motel Tax. This is just a recap of what we've done past year, some of the things that we've accomplished. One of which found out yesterday. Every 3 years we go through an accreditation through our West Virginia Association of CVBs in the state. And yesterday I learned that we have been accredited again for another 3 years. We received the max score is 224 points. We received 230 because of the extra credit questions. The minimum is 184. So we will be accredited.
Who credits you?
The West Virginia Association of
Said-
CVBs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's state organized.
Mm-hmm.
And some highlights that we look at. Of course, we do a lot of, I go straight to grants. We do a lot of grants this year. I've recapped everything. We've done almost over $142,000 in grants that were given out to different organizations in our area that help promote tourism in some way. Some of those are the Miss West Virginia organization, the Berkeley County Roundhouse Foundation, or the Martinsburg Heritage Fair. And we also help support some of the museums, for the Kids by George, the Adam Stevens House, and the Roundhouse itself. And some of the other grants was the Martinsburg Farmers Market, the Berkeley County 4-H STEM Club, which is a local STEM club, which is robotics, and they are at nationals again this year, so they'll be participating at nationals and hopefully go to a world competition very soon. Excuse me, of course. We also help promote some of the music and arts through the Tony M. Music Foundation and Arts Foundation. Summer Rainer Heritage for Juneteenth celebration, the Berkeley County 4-H Foundation for the Farm Crawl, which happened this past summer, which was the first one in Berkeley County. And it was a one-day event, which it was so successful, they're going to expand it to a weekend event coming up in late summer, early fall. And the 4-State CVEB, Martinsburg Veterans Day Parade, we help support that. Mountain State Apple Harvest Festival, they received a $30,000 grant for the festival. And Main Street Martinsburg, Christmas on Main, that's a few of the ones that we've done. So it's been pretty successful. People have been taking advantage of our grant system that was set up by our board of directors, and has just simply grown over the past years. So it's been very successful. And also in what I just gave you is our marketing review of some of the places that we do some print campaigns and some outreach as far as digital. We have increased our digital footprint to target market some of the areas that we know are interested in our particular space, in our particular area with Martinsburg or Berkeley County. Mainly the Mid-Atlantic region, up and down the East Coast, but Virginia, Northern Virginia. DC is our major hub for marketing. We've also partnered with the state tourism office for DC Station Domination, which is us along with Travel Berkeley Springs and Jefferson County. We bought some advertising there for bus wraps and some of the metro stations, which were up for a couple months, and we received over 3.8+ million impressions because of that. So it's pretty successful. We've also done something at the Dulles Airport. If you've flown out of there back in the spring, you would have seen some of the Eastern Panhandle regional information, whether it's Jefferson County or Berkeley County. Everything points to the Eastern Panhandle to come out here. Some of our digital media that we've done, like I said, up and down the East Coast, 30,000 plus views, 33,000 clicks on our website. Our website traffic has grown 33% in 2025. We're trying to make sure that everybody, that we are seen in front of eyes, And hopefully that constitutes people coming out to our area and taking advantage of what we have here. And one of the things that we're hoping to do this year, you might have seen the West Virginia tourism swings that are around the state. Jefferson County just got theirs back, I guess, in the fall. We're hoping to put one here in Berkeley County. There were some stipulations previously, which sort of tied our hands as to where we could do it. There couldn't be a building in the picture. There couldn't be. They wanted to have a view of some panoramic view. So we were looking at different locations. We're hoping to put one at Courthouse Farm Park.
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
I was supposed to meet with Chelsea Ruby yesterday, and it got canceled. But that they were talking about Sleepy Creek, which nobody can get to because of the road. And Poorhouse is a great place, but that's a picture right there of the Poorhouse and that view from up top. And that swing needs to go up there where you have a panoramic view instead of down by the lake where you can only see a couple hundred yards. Sure.
Yeah, give me that.
Yeah, you can have this one. But there's a clearing up there that some scouts did years ago, and they could sit in that swing and then see that whole valley down in that whole park like that. And that's what. And they also try to put it in places where you're encouraged to exercise and have to hike up to the thing to get to it instead of just drive up in your car and get out and swing.
Yeah, whenever.
So if you suggest that to your board, I think it needs to go up on top. But
Sure.
that's just
What's the accessibility to that?
Huh?
How do you access that area?
You can park right down there. There's a handicap space behind the barn, but you have to walk across the creek bridge and then up the trail.
Mm-hmm.
But that, the one at Capen, for instance, you have to walk a mile to get to it. This is, you're only talking here a couple hundred yards.
I know the one out at.
Now it's uphill, so it's a challenge, but.
Like 2 miles. It's like a mile.
Yeah.
Whenever I reached out to them about the swings, I asked to find out what their interest was, what they thought would be a great location. And they said Sleepy Creek. It's just access to it, and it's
Nobody will ever use it.
And it would get tore up.
Yeah, if you don't need a front end alignment when you go there, you'll need one on the way out.
Yeah.
Well, someone will shoot it up.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about, we were looking at some different parks, and I thought Poorhouse would be a fantastic location for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Determining where, because I'd never seen this particular view. I think this is wonderful because they want to make sure that when somebody takes a picture, there's not a building in the background. They want the vistas, and they want a panoramic view. So I think this is a great location.
Have you had any requests yet for the that involve around the 250th anniversary of the nation? Yeah, none. Yeah, just curious. And the other thing that I want to say is that I hope that you guys will think about here in the future is we're starting to get involved with Civil War stuff here, and we're going to dedicate the first park this year. It's down at Hoax Run. It's already opened, but the signage and all for the battle stuff is not in place yet, but it's going to be here. And we hope this just tip the iceberg because we've got all kinds of locations here in this county that were part of the war history. And so I'm hoping that, you guys will support this effort and work with the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield people in the state. We're going to try to get the state involved. Hopefully they've created a line item for Civil War stuff, supposedly, that we can really enhance this because as far as tourism goes, those people that visit Civil War sites, they spend more money than any other visitors in the country when they go to Antietam, Harpers Ferry and all. They're big spenders. They're usually people that are retired well off, and they spend a lot of money in our community. And we need to enhance our situation a whole lot better than we have in the past to draw those people here while they're visiting those locations and spend their money in Berkeley County some. So,
sure, we would love to be a part of that. I know that we have a really great working relationship with Jefferson County.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
And so we promote each other, and I know that getting that on board, that'd be a great way for people to bring them from Jefferson County here and see what we have to offer. I'm all for it. I'm sure the board would be too.
I think that what they're leaning towards, they're actually going to have an app on your phone at some point where you can then just get on your phone and do the app, and then it'll show you where all these locations are going to be in the future. So it's going to be a really neat situation. And So you think that the hotel tax from the county level is not gonna hit a $500,000 this year? I see you asked for 490, but. I think-
Yeah, I was being very
Is it
conservative.
down a little bit?
No, it's budgeted at 500. They get half no matter what. So he'll get half
Right.
of whatever we get.
Well, I just
I was
hope
just
it-
being very
I
conservative.
can't imagine it's trending backwards at this point.
It will be over 5 at this point.
Yeah,
I was because the last several years, I've overshot the budget a little bit. I
yeah.
was more in line this year.
What's the city coming in at now?
Well, for us, we have them down to about 375, I think, on this budget coming up.
Is that
But
right?
they're both, as of right now, the county and the city are over 50%, and we're halfway through. So
Mhm.
at least we'll meet our budget. So I increased it a little bit for this year, just being very conservative,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
so I can do our numbers. Yeah, we have a lot of our marketing efforts are done regionally. Of course, we do Berkeley County and Martinsburg as well.
Do you all have any reserve funds, Mark, or do you
Yes.
spend everything you bring in, or do you have some reserve funds?
We have reserve, and the board did that because of what happened in the past.
Uh-huh.
It was underwater almost $300,000. They didn't want that to happen. So we have reserve.
Is it fair to ask how much reserve you have?
Right now it's 430,000.
Okay.
And what
It's an ICS account.
and what percentage of your general revenue is that? So your yearly general revenue is X, and what percentage is your surplus?
878's their projected annual.
Around 900,000 is their annual income between the
Okay.
two CVB, or two hotel motel taxes, city and county.
Cities at
So it's
360,
about half.
counties at 4.
It's quite a reserve fund,
It is.
quite
We,
substantial.
It is. They want to be sure that if something happens again, like what happened a couple
COVID.
years ago, COVID, we had nothing coming at
Mhm,
all.
sure.
So we have something to be able to continue to do our marketing, as well as run the CVP.
Can you imagine if we're able to build this beautiful sports complex up here and all the people that will be staying in all the hotels in
I would love it.
Berkeley County and Jefferson County and Morgan County? Have you guys had CVB Day yet down to the Capitol? Have you already had that?
Well, we did. They had Tourism Day back during the snowstorm that we
Okay.
had here. We didn't go. Jefferson County didn't go. Morgan
Mm.
County went.
You guys have an association of CVBs, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones who does our accreditation for us. And they're, keep us on top of what's going on in the legislature.
And Mark, if my memory serves me right, you all have increased your grant allowance, correct? Yeah. So, and you're still maintaining those levels. Yeah, very good.
Still maintaining them. Our main goal is to market Martinsburg and Berkeley County, 50 miles outside the register. That's per state law. But we have the ability to do some community things. The majority of our funds have to be spent that way.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, and even though there are annual events every year, if you're like the parade in the fall and the apple harvest and all that, those things need to be supported, and it makes it a lot easier for us if you guys take care of it instead of us having to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that's the kind of things you should be doing in our
Well,
mind.
yes, it's like a
yeah.
hand-in-hand thing.
Right,
That will bring people to our area.
right.
And even people from across the state that have never been up here, they'll come up here from Huntington. And we hear it all the time.
Yeah.
They love it up here.
Mhm.
So,
They have the pumpkin festival out there. It's in Milton.
Yeah. Those food truck festivals but they bring a lot of people in. They have the food truck festivals downtown.
Yeah.
Those things are,
yeah,
people
I think Main Street has the St. Patrick's Day coming up soon.
yeah, they're very well
And-
attended.
And do you work with them?
Yes, we
Well-
provide them with options to get grants if they
Yeah,
show so
If they
choose.
choose to. Yeah.
But nonetheless, we still market it, whether they
Yeah.
ask to or not.
Yeah.
We shout it out to
Yeah, they are
I'll
nice.
tell you one thing,
events.
old Robbie picks the weather, the right weather days.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, unless anybody else has anything else for Mark? Mark, you have anything else you want to add, or you good?
everybody. Appreciate you guys and appreciate the opportunity
Thank you.
Yeah.
to know what we're doing.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us or come by and see us.
See if you can get that swing up on the mountain for me, there on the ridge. I think that's a great spot for it.
I think it is too. We have to get Joe on board.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short break for our next presentation. We're back in session. Next up is Berkeley County Parks and Rec, Joe Burton. Afternoon, Joe.
Good afternoon. Appreciate you all having us down to discuss the budget for the coming year. I think that's slides. Were you able to get those?
I did. They also have a print of it too, Joe, so bear with me one second.
Okay.
But they have it in front of them, so
And we sent some support documents that hopefully got a copy of.
they have everything.
Okay, good. If you've got any questions about any of that, you can ask them. I'm not gonna bore you guys to death. I'll go through these slides kind of quickly, but I do like the opportunity to give you an update on what's going on and kind of the state of the parks. Brief overview, we had a good time putting together this slide with some statistics that describe some of the things we did in the past year. As you well know, we take care of 20 parks throughout the county and 2 rec centers. And we looked at that mileage, that's 180 square miles we cover from park to park, which seems kind of hard to believe, but that's what it is. This year we had almost 35,000 people register for our programs, and we had 20,000 pool visitors this year. Our operating budget had gone up to 5.3 million, and of that we generated 56% of that. We've been mowing 115 acres weekly during the mow season and maintaining 12 miles of trails. And we certainly appreciate our 132 community partners who have helped us along the way by sponsoring events, teams, and supporting our parks and facilities. I'm going to give you the highlights of a few of the county parks. We can start at Poorhouse Farm Park. That one. Once again, Poorhouse is one of the busiest parks. It's a fantastic place. It's got people in it every single day of the year. We had a open house at the barn just a couple weeks ago when it was very snowy, freezing cold, and I was shocked to see a handful of disc golfers there that day. I mean, it's always workout to walk that disc golf course, but when you do it in that snow with crust on top, it just shows it's every single day somebody's out there. It's amazing. Speaking of disc golf, they have that app that you don't have to use the app to play, but you can use the app to log in and put your score in. 1,700 unique users on that disc golf course this year use that app. So not everybody uses the app, but at least 1,700 unique users logged into that app. So it just gives you some concept of that. You know, that's a couple thousand people out there playing. Poorhouse was home to our fishing derby, to Berkeley County Schools cross country meets and EPAC championship. We did free movie nights, color run. We had 75 weddings at the barn. Disc golf. We had our first Oktoberfest. Many Berkeley County School field trips with Audubon and Kakaban. This year, a lot of our efforts focused again on road and trail repairs. We did a lot of work on the disc golf course. We've had a lot of great comments about that. People are very happy with it and say it's in wonderful shape. All in all, we brought in $136,000 in revenue from Poorhouse, mainly rentals and events. And we had $357,000 in cost, primarily wages, maintenance, and repairs. For some things that need done this year, the way I've done it is to break down some things that I see as urgent needs for the next year, and then some long-term things to keep an eye on, because we have to start thinking about some of this. The deck at the barn really needs some work. So we have to decide to what level can we fund that this year. At the very minimum, we need to do some shoring it up and doing some immediate repairs, and we need to plan to replace that deck completely within the next year. Not this coming year, but the following fiscal year. I think we need to plan to replace that deck. It's 26 years old, showing some real wear and tear, and something we need to think about taking care of. We also have siding that's starting to blow off the barn. The wood that's under the siding in places looks very old and isn't holding nails very well. I think that's why it's starting to come off. So that's another project that we'll have to look at in the near future. The lake that gets used heavily all the time is leaking again. We've made several repairs to the dam. It continues to leak in some different spots. We're just getting a lot of erosion, and the muskrats are not helping this at all. They're getting under that bank in many places on the dam side, and we're losing water and frequently trying to fix it. So I think that's something that is a project we need to look at for sure in the next year or two. We had downstream strategies. The guys that are working on the Tuscarora Creek next door on the property come over and take a look at it. They weren't surprised about the muskrat damage. They said it's a common thing. And they noted some of that erosion and gave me some ideas of how we may address that. That's a big 6-figure type project to take on the dam side. And that's something we're gonna have to start thinking pretty hard about. The next slide that you have up here, these are more long-term things, but some of them have to be addressed more sooner than later. We'd like to get that additional Macy's Pavilion constructed somewhere on the property. I think there's several good sites for it. I would really like to put in a new restroom when we do that. I think it would only make sense to have one more permanent restroom in that park when we do that new pavilion. So I think we have to be mindful about where we put it, so we can put it somewhere we can put it in a drain field and a well to be able to serve it. On the expansion side of the property, the additional 70 acres there's still old buildings on that property. And although that is maybe not officially open as a park, there's public on that property every day. People go over there and walk. They have access to it through multiple points, and we have maintained a walking path around it for the last couple of years. Those old buildings really pose a danger, and I would like to start looking very seriously at taking both of those down. I'm sure we're going to have some asbestos concerns. At least we'll have to get checked out before we go any farther on that. But the house and the outbuildings there, I'd like to get taken down as soon as possible.
You're gonna save the little spring house there, you think?
Spring house would be great.
It's a pretty neat little thing.
Yeah, and it's easy to close up. We can make that door so.
That house is a log cabin underneath of it. Yeah.
Somebody may be interested in those logs, but we got to peel through some layers to get to them.
Yeah.
On the DuPont soccer complex, quick summary of DuPont, we spent $140,000 in maintenance this year. Got about 350 families that use this space every season, mainly for soccer, although we have lacrosse out there too. We did a lot of work earlier this season on regrading that road, especially where it washes out down towards Spring Mills High School. Unfortunately, halfway through the season, it looked about like it did before we started. So it's something that, until we can start biting off some more paving in small pieces, I think we're just going to keep doing this. But again, for this year, we're going to need to put some money into grading that road. We've got some culverts where the road is worn down on the edges of those culverts. Now cars are starting to hit the pipes and damage them. And we had some complaints, a couple cars got damaged this year. So we need to look at replacing some of those culverts and repairing that road. You guys know that the long-term goal is to get turf at that complex. And that's something that I would love to see we move towards in this coming fiscal year. The first step of that would be $30,000 towards surveying and a geotechnical study to put together an accurate scope of work and be able to put that project to bid. So that's something I would really like to have funded this year, so that as soon as those impact fees become ready, we're ready to go to bid and get at least that first field underway.
Let's do it one field at a time. And which field would you consider first, right there in front of the concession area, or where?
I think probably the one at the top of the hill might be one of the easiest to do. I think it's probably got the best position right now for the least amount of grading and drainage work. The first field is going to be the most expensive, of course, because you're going to incur a lot of expense for the whole project. You might as well do all the engineering, all the surveying, have all that information before you do the first field. So that first field is going to be salty compared to the rest of them. But a lot of that money will be used to help out with the other fields to come. So, in this document I put together $1.7 million for that first field, and it would definitely go down from there as you build additional fields. At Rooney Park, we've had a tremendous interest from the community in that park, and a lot of private investment, mainly from the travel baseball team that's been helping out down there. You guys know we've got great looking new dugouts down there. This year they completed the pavilion, that doubles as a batting cage. So we've got our first batting cage in our park lineup, and that's been enjoyed by some Little League teams as well as the travel team that built it for us. This year, that travel team is moving on to the big field as their kids have gotten bigger. So all the work that they put into that smaller field, they're now kind of turning over for Little League and public use, as they'll be using the big field and investing some more money into that. So that's been a great partnership, and we appreciate that. I'll just point out that this park is almost 20 acres, and there's definitely more to it than the baseball fields. There's a nice trail, or potentially nice trail in the back that needs lots of work. It's got a little pavilion over there. It's got a playground that gets used heavily in season, but it's a tiny little playground. So the community has asked, and I think you guys have heard from some of the community down there, they're asking for a bigger playground. They see the place getting used a lot. So we'd like to put some money into expanding all these services for Rooney Park. I'll go down to Randy Smith. Randy Smith this year, we took in $450,000 in revenue. About $50,000 of that was from rental, and $400,000 was from the programs and leagues that we run there. We expanded our summer camp program there by a good bit this past year and hope to do it again in the coming year. We had an after-school program there. We just didn't get numbers to sustain it. Musselman High School's in that building almost every single day. They use 3 of our 4 gyms for at least 2 hours a day, every single weekday. So Berkeley County Schools is making a lot of use of that building. We've added this year daytime staff to that building every day of the week. So we've been able to expand our pickleball hours and be open to more daytime activities. Our goal is to keep doing that. We're looking at adding a senior walking program where you have some, they look at your walking, they add some health tips in and kind of set up a program for you. And we're looking to host that at Randy Smith coming up later this year. So by keeping staff down there, we're keeping the building really spotless, and we're also adding some programming.
I was getting ready to add, Joe, I just spent a good bit of time in there this past week, and facility looks very nice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Lisa Robinson is the staff that we have there during the day. She came on as a custodian, and then when we created this job, we're calling her a rec center attendant. It's kind of a hybrid. She's doing customer service, but she's also doing her custodial work during the day. And she's been a great fit. We kind of questioned if she'd be quick to catch on to some of the electronics, like the POS equipment. I knew she wouldn't have any problem with the rest of it, the cleaning, and she's super friendly, but she's been a great fit. She's doing a wonderful job. Some immediate...
We're going to be up there this evening for the highway thing.
That's right. Yeah, and Lisa just sent me a picture a little bit ago. She had that all set up.
Yeah. Is that going to be in the conference room back there?
Yep. Some immediate needs at Randy Smith. Our fire alarm is costing us more and more each month, it seems. We're getting a lot of false alarms on it, and there's just some components that need replaced. We've had Ray at RCS, I think Gary, I believe you know him. He's done a great job for us. He's a very patient man, and he was even able to get some of the original drawings and sort through them, and he's repaired a lot of it as we've gone. We just found a circuit board that was burned up. It's been about 2 weeks ago, and now he's working to get that replaced for us. So even though this isn't a very old system, the building's 13 years old now, we're getting more and more problems with it, and I think we have to look at, if not a complete replacement, significant repairs and updates to it in the coming year. One weekend, I think I got an email about every 7 minutes. I got a notification that we had a false alarm going off. So that's a small thing, but we want to make sure it works when we need it. Additionally, we'd like to add some cameras there, and parking continues to be an issue. We get complaints from school all the time. I was down there on a Sunday about a month ago, and I saw it firsthand. I've seen it busy, but seeing it on a Sunday afternoon, it really hammered me. The amount of cars that were on grass at the park, at the rec center, halfway in the road, it's not a good situation. So, the funding I'm asking for parking, I think we could do in stages. There is that area there. It's a low-lying area. It's going to take some shale and some grading to make it suitable for parking. But I think it's something where we could start with shale and gravel at first, and then over time improve that with paving and eventually with lights, and we could have a decent parking lot there. also mention the HVAC system just for long term. We haven't had a lot of problems yet. Just last weekend, we lost heat in 4 of the units, and I know it was unusually cold, and that's gonna happen. That system, I'm fairly familiar with it. I know the engineer company that designed it. It's basically a residential system put in a very large building, and it's gonna have problems. It's very difficult to work on because the air handling units are inside the gym, suspended from the ceiling, and you have to get a lift to work on them each time. So every time we have a problem with a duct detector and the fire alarm, or something with that unit, we have to close down that gym, make sure a lift is available, and get out there to fix it. So it really prolongs the time. So that's a little bit frustrating, but I think it's a very safe bet that in the next 3 or 4 years, we're gonna have more and more issues with HVAC units there. Hoax Run Battlefield Park. Been a fantastic little park. From the day we opened it, it's been used and enjoyed by people in Spring Mills. We had $4,500 in pavilion rentals this year, and it was just the very first year we put it out. So people are making use of that, and they're really enjoying it. We've got those bathrooms are heated, and they're open year round. So it's a nice place for people to use. We did spend $63,000 in capital in this past year to complete the park. So that's something, as that deal is completed with the Battlefield Association, we'd really like to be reimbursed for that. And so far this year, we put about $20,000 into maintenance, taking care of the park. Stonebridge Park is also a small spot, but a busy spot. And we're getting to the time of year where it's going to be very busy. Trout season's just kicked off in the January, and it'll be ramping up, especially in March. So we'll get very busy. A lot of people use that area. It's fantastic. We've made a lot of trips there cleaning up trash and just keeping it mowed. What we'd like to do in the future, we'd like to get some portable restrooms there. We'd like to add some bench seats here and there. And we'd like to develop that trail a little more. Now we've kind of made it nice and accessible to people, but you've got some pitfalls and some trips and some dangerous spots walking down that trail that we'd like to do some repairs and make it a little safer for people.
We met with the DNR here a few weeks ago about Stonebridge Park, and there's going to be some funding coming from them. We feel pretty certain to pave the parking lot and also put a boat slip in. So it was money they had several years ago, and then it never got done. And I think they're going to be able to find the revenue to bring it back and then get it done here. So we're working on it. So
That'll be great. Yeah. Actually, we'll cut down on some maintenance when they do that too. It's grown up so bad at that spot where they're going to put that boat ramp in that will help a lot when it gets done.
Yep.
For the new Inwood Park, as you all know, it's coming along. It's going to be a 31-acre park. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. I think for what we need to think about now is a maintenance building, some equipment to leave in that park, and having the operating funds to keep it staffed and take good care of it. So we talked before about $350,000 as an annual operating cost for that park. Just to put that in, give you a reference on that, Poorhouse Farm Park cost $357,000 in operations last year. And War Memorial Park, if you remove the pool from it, War Memorial Park costs $582,000. So the difference there is Poorhouse is a lot more acres, but a lot fewer amenities. So I would say you can bank on Inwood Landing somewhere in between, because it's going to be a little bit bigger than War Memorial. It's going to have more amenities than Poorhouse. So that's the range that you can expect to spend on operations for Inwood. And lastly, the brand new one, I'm calling it Oates Farm Park. I know it's not named yet, but great new property to the north, 275 acres for future development. Right now, my thoughts on that are we got to get out there and check it out, get the property posted, see if we need to secure any spots on it, and we have to work on that use agreement that Gary shared with me, and then I sent it back to you guys so we can talk about what we might be able to do with that property before we're actually using it as a formal park. Definitely some farming to go on to cut hay off of it. That will actually help a lot with keeping the property up. And then we'd like to look at what else could we possibly do? Could we use it for hunting in some way? Could we use it for other outdoor camps or activities? You know, what the commission feels comfortable with and what we think would be safe to do up there.
And Joe, I'm pretty sure it's Spring Mills Park is where it's gonna land.
Spring Mills Park?
That was pretty the request of
of
Some
the.
pretty important people.
Yep.
Sounds good.
The actual Spring Mills was the mill there on that property. That was the actual Spring Mills, and that's where it all evolved from, so. And,
What the historian said anyway.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
but that agreement that y'all have is with that farmer. Now, he's been farming it for several years, and he has the whole perimeters fenced off. He's the one that puts the gates up, and he's gonna continue to do that until it's needed as a public park, and we worked it out so that it's only $5,000 a year, but the money would come to you guys and not to the county, and,
That's part of the agreement that Joe's
Yeah.
referring to. It's
right,
nothing formal there yet.
so, and, you know, if it sits there for a while, that's okay. It's preserved for the future, though, so that's the main thing, so.
And also, Mr. Koger across the street says if in agreement that can't be reached with the farmer, that he would be willing to speak with you and get something worked out. He does have interest in her also.
Sounds good. I know the East Turkey Hunt is coming up in April, and I'm not saying that would be ideal for that, but it came to mind. There's activities like that we might be able to look at, and might be something that land could be used for until it's used as a park. The next slide is this pie chart I put together of just our revenue streams. It's been good news in 2025 for us. You know, last year I was here telling you we're facing about $1.5 million shortfall in our funding for the year, and all of our funding bodies have been very gracious, including the commission, and we thank you for that. We've had an increase in funds from every direction. The excess levy through the school board went up $20,000. As you know, the county has increased your allocation by $400,000, the city by $900,000, and we have increased our generated revenue by $170,000. And that comes mainly through increasing fees. So I feel good about that and not so good about it. It's just one of those things that has to happen, and we've tried to be sensible about that and not be more expensive than we need to be. But it is what it is. By increasing the entrance fees to our games and the league fees for our programs, we were able to generate another $170,000 to get where we needed to be. Last year, I shared some norms that are published by the National Recreation and Parks Association, and I share them again with you this year. I compared it this year to a community with a population of only 99,000, because honestly, once we get up to the 100 to 200,000, I think is the next category, the numbers are so far out of reach, I feel like it's just not even a conversation worth having. So by comparing Berkeley County at 140,000 to the national median of communities with 99,000, we get a clearer picture, I think, of that we're heading in the right direction, and we have some ways to go. So currently we've got 3.5 acres per 1,000 residents of parkland, and the national median would be 9.2 acres. Now, when you factor in the new land that we're adding, we'll get up to 5. So that number is slowly chipping away. Our indoor rec centers, we've got 70,000 people per rec center when the national median is 31,000. I think that's something you all are very clear on. Eventually, we're going to need another indoor rec center, probably in the north end, you know, wherever the population is going to dictate it. And I think we know that. Our number of employees are roughly half of what the national median is. Our allocated funds, we have about 1.5 million in allocated operating funds, and the national median is 5.3. Special taxes, where I included hotel and motel, we're a little higher than average. It's the way we're structured. So while we bring in 875,000, the national median is 335. Get a total operating budget, we're overall about $3 million lower for our organization than the national median. I think overall, what I take away from this is, of course, we're still a little underfunded. Of course, our staffing is low. But I think something to look at more carefully is how our capital improvements are underfunded, and our deferred maintenance is becoming capital projects. So I think that's something to get a handle on in the future, and I think impact fees are certainly going to help for that. I think we just have to see how that's gonna work and get creative with how are those gonna help, not just for new things, but for major projects to fix some of our old things. So there's better detail in the supporting documents we gave you, but our summary this year is we're asking for an increase in allocation for 1.2 million. And we're asking for a continuation of the 50% of the hotel motel. And we're asking for the commission to consider what capital improvements you would like to do. If we did everything I've listed here, I've got $1 million in urgent things to do in the coming year, and then $1.7 million set aside when we can get that first turf field online. I know that's going to be part of the impact fees. We identified that project in the capital improvement plan for the impact fees, and I know it will be some time before we can get there, but hopefully, hoping by the end of the next fiscal year, maybe we'll be hitting that mark. And I think if we could at least get that 30,000 approved for this fiscal year, get that scope of work defined, the engineering done, then we'll be ready to roll when the impact fees do come in for that first field. You guys got any questions or anything you'd like to talk about a little bit more?
Joe, down there where the soccer field, the DuPont soccer fields are, is there enough property in there would that be a good location for another indoor facility like a Randy Smith Center? Is it not enough property there?
I don't think there's enough property there.
Okay.
You could do something smaller indoors there,
Yeah.
but we come into a parking issue for sure, and you have to kind of pick and choose what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a great, I mean, to me, that location is a priority. It's a great location. It's close to the schools. It's, right there close to 11, kind of where everything's happening at. And, the soccer fields are going to be important, but to me, it seems like a great place to be able to put an indoor facility. But
It's something we could look at, because when you move to turf, you're going to get so much more wear and tear out of each surface, and you can just schedule it to death. I mean,
Right.
Of course, there's only so many hours in a day.
Right.
But you can have team after team on that turf field, and it will hold up. In 10 years, we're going to be talking about new rogue on it at least. But you can really schedule it tight and use it hard. So that would be something to consider. What are your other options for an indoor facility up there? If that's the place, what size is it going to be? It's not going to be one like with Randy Smith where you build a rec center knowing you could add on to it easily. That's not going to be the case there, because you're going to be kind of landlocked and wanting for parking.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something to consider. Do you decrease the total number of fields and look to build a smaller 2-court rec center?
The Henrys were talking about one time donating property for it. I don't know if that would still be on the table or not, but
in what area?
no, in the north end,
I know, but where at it in the north end?
over by 81,
Mm.
closer to the exit actually. I don't know if that's still on the table. That's been a couple years ago.
So is lighting part of you for impact fees for the rest of those fields?
For DuPont?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when they get turfed, yeah. Lighted and turfed, yeah.
And we can use impact fees for that because those are new facilities due to growth.
Right.
Can that also be the same for an additional pavilion for the second permanent restroom facilities? I mean, that's because of the growth of the park.
There's actually still 125,000 from Macy's in that for a pavilion. It's just more a matter of where do we want to put it.
There should be
But-
2, Joe. There was 3 total,
One's
Yeah.
at
You want
Poorhouse,
Poorhouse
one
and-
at Poorhouse.
and one at the Inwood Park.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
But
then
the,
one,
but the bathroom.
and one there at the Hope's Run. So.
Well, even expanding the 9-hole to an 18-hole, I mean, can impact. I mean, that's capital. I mean, is impact fees be able to be used for that?
To check.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the restroom would be a great thing to have for else. I think that our county's growing to a point where that's something we're going to be looking at in many places as they grow. We got to get a permanent restroom there. That's one thing I didn't bring up. I think I skipped over it when we were talking about DuPont. But in the capital money that I've asked for this year, I've asked for $70,000 at DuPont to convert that concession stand that's not being used to a permanent restroom facility. So you got 350 families going in there every week, and there's porta-johns there. And if you know how windy DuPont is, those porta-johns get knocked over so often. It's just, I think we're to a point where maybe we can do better, that our community doesn't have to have porta johns when they go to their soccer games. And we have a building,
There's water and sewer there, so it's.
we got a building right there.
Yep.
So we're talking about, you know, what might cost 200,000+ for 70 grand, I can turn that into a bathroom. I think that's a no-brainer, and it would be a immediate positive impact to the community.
Will a septic system hold that, or you on sewer there?
Sewer.
It's on public sewer, yeah.
Water and sewer, yeah.
There's actually a bathroom in there already, but it's only a one toilet little
Right,
bathroom
just
from
for
what was a
staff.
concession stand, yeah.
No, it's public sewer and public waters.
I have nothing else. Anybody else?
Do
Anything?
not, thank you for
Thank you, Joe.
great presentation.
We, do what we can, we're gonna do our best, so.
Well, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
What do you have to say, Miss Teresa? You got anything to add?
Covered it all.
You got the.
Take a break to the remainder of 4 o'clock.
They're good.
Yep, we're back in. Business for the day's been completed. Let the record show there's nobody here from the public to speak. Need a motion to recess.
Mr. President, I move we recess.
We are in recess. Thank you.